Hey guys, it's me, it's Queen Said Heru, and thank you for joining me for another wonderful edition of Ask an Aquarius. If you haven't already, please hit the red subscribe button and smack the bell. Also, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, pass it on to somebody else who might like it, and drop us a positive comment in the comment section. And don't forget to stay to the end of the video because I'm going to read out some other positive comments, and one of them might have been one of your comments. Alright guys, so today we're going to talk about something that's very interesting. And I've heard this from a lot of people who have been in relationships or are in relationships with Aquarius. And they're asking me to explain this. Aquarius do something very naturally called disassociation. Disassociation is a disorder. There is something called I think it's called dissociative disorder. But that's not what I'm talking about. That's a disorder. That is something that you get a diagnosis for and you're treated for. Some of them, I think all of them, have alter personalities. And I don't know a lot about it, but I do know that there are people on YouTube that make good videos about this particular disorder. But I'm not one of them because I haven't done enough research. But the word disassociate, if it's not a disorder and it's just something that you know how to do, or it's an Aquarius trait, is different from the disorder. These are two different things. I think that some aspects of it are similar, but I think that the people who have the disorder are the ones who create the alters. So alters in their personality. For those of you who are old enough, One Life to Live, an old soap opera, used to have a character. Her name was Vicky, and Vicky had alters. She had this disorder. Now, I don't know if her portrayal was accurate or not because I haven't seen a critique on it. That would be interesting to have like a real medical professional, because they have one actually on YouTube and he looks at different things. I'm gonna send it to him and see if he would be willing to take a look at some of that footage and see if she was anywhere near accurate. Probably not. She was probably over dramatizing, but it's a soap opera. What do you expect, right? But the disassociate part basically is when you're able to separate yourself. So a lot of Aquarius that I know tell me they can do this. I thought it was just me for a long time. For a long time, I thought it was just me. I was like, oh, y'all can do that too? I was shocked when other Aquarius started telling me. But basically, when you disassociate, you kind of just leave. You literally leave. Like, let's say that we are sitting someplace and it's unpleasant. Like, I don't like something about it. Maybe somebody's, maybe it's not a good show or the company isn't good. I hate being places with bad company, something like that. In those cases, when you can't just leave, because that's when most of us just leave. When an Aquarius can't leave that flight, an Aquarius, some people will fight, and others will just disassociate. We'll just leave. Not so much physically leave, but we'll leave here. We'll swoop off into our imagination somewhere. We'll swoop off into some thoughts about something. We'll think about a topic. We'll do anything. And we will not be there with you. People will say, penny for your thoughts. And we're like, huh? Because we're not even on the same planet right now. We have totally left the building. Elvis has left the building. We are not there with that person. And most people that do this do it as a response to trauma. Even people who have the disorder, some of them, from what I understand, I don't know if it's all of them, but I noticed some of them, because I did watch a few videos to try to compare the two, and there was some similarities, but the disorder just seemed to me like it was much more severe, much more severe. For an Aquarius, it's like we've had a trauma at some time in our life, usually when we're a child, because children a lot of times cannot just get out of a situation. As an adult, if somebody's treating us some type of way, in most cases we can just leave. We can go home, we can get an Uber, you know what I mean? We can do whatever. But As a child, you can't do that. Wherever you're at, that's where you're at. And you can't go anywhere until one of your caretakers takes you out of there. But what if it's one of your caretakers that's actually the problem? What if you have, a caretaker who is abusive in some kind of way, or annoying in some kind of way, or nagging, or something like that, and you can't physically leave, but you can disassociate in your mind. You can literally just daydream yourself. And that's basically what it started off as. I would just look out the window and just watch the clouds. I remember being 3 and 4 years old, just looking out the window, just watching the clouds, and in the background, my mother and my father arguing, or my sister, or all kinds of chaos and all kind. I grew up in a household that wasn't always chaotic, but we had some chaos sometimes. Because it's a big family. I come from a really big family. So chaos would happen. And I would just leave. I'll be looking out the window, watching the clouds, watching them swirl around. I would just leave. In my brain would leave. And all of this drama is going on in the background. And I am nowhere around. I'm gone. I'm just gone. People ask me, did I hear this? Did I see that? I'm like, huh? Huh? What happened? And that is usually when it starts. Usually a child learns how to do that to separate themselves from the chaos of the adults in their family. Now, from what I understand, if this becomes, more traumatic, or if there are other factors involved, that's when it can go from a characteristic to an actual disorder. But for me, it was just something that I learned how to do when things were unpleasant. I did it all the time. When I was married, oh my God. When I was married, when I had to physically be in the house, because mind you, I couldn't be out in the street all the time. I was in the street as much as possible, but I had a daughter, a little daughter at that. So most of the time I had to be in the house. So when I had to be there and I was like, oh my God, I would just leave. I would just leave. I'll be on the couch holding the baby, feeding the baby, doing whatever I had to do, and my mind was somewhere else. My mind was gone, and I would just leave. And my daughter's father would be, doing whatever he was doing, usually playing PlayStation, annoying me, what are those kind of things? And mentally, I would just leave. And I know a lot of Aquarius who tell me and they don't need like alcohol or drugs, they can just leave. And it's like, oh my God, we can just float off into the sky. So a lot of people who are in relationships with Aquarius have complained to me and been like, yo, I'm talking to my Aquarius, right? And my Aquarius is not in the room. Or I'm asking her a question and she is just not even responding to me. In some of those cases, your Aquarius has disassociated from the situation. And this is so funny because remember I talked about how Aquarius can detach? We can detach from even ourselves. We can detach from our body to the point where we are not even there. People have said things or done things and they be like, you was right there. And I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. So if you Google the word disassociate, you'll see a whole bunch of definitions. You'll see the disorder. You'll see those kind of things. But what you won't see in a lot of cases is that this is something that a lot of Aquarius know how to do naturally. We just know how to do it. And nobody told me how to do it. Something happened. I was like, how can I get out of this situation that I can't get out of? And that's what I came up with. And a lot of other Aquarius tell me they came up with the same thing. So, for example, I'll give you a perfect example. I have a lot of tattoos. And people always say to me, like, didn't that hurt? And I'm like, nah, I wasn't even there. I totally left. A lot of times, I remember like the last tattoo I got is very large. It goes from my ankle all the way up to my hip. And my tattoo artist always tells people how I used to fall asleep. I used to fall asleep while he was doing my tattoos. And I literally did because I detached. I didn't even feel the pain. I detached from it to the point where I fell asleep. So you gotta be, I mean, anybody who out there who's got a tattoo without, having put some numbing cream on it, or taking some kind of major like alcohol or some kind of pain pill or something, in most cases you're gonna feel every single needle. You're gonna feel it. But if you know how to leave your body, you're not gonna feel it. So I just leave and then eventually fall asleep, because it takes so long that eventually I fall asleep. And that's what happens to a lot of people who tell me that they disassociate. They tell me that a lot of them fall asleep, because it's like you're not even there. Somebody can be doing something to your body as painful as getting a tattoo, and you not even feel it. I come to when I hear his voice, and he always tells people that story because it's fascinating to him. And he's like, she's the only client I have that ever does that. But I don't think I ever explained to him, yeah, I'm just disassociating and coming back when I hear your voice. I don't think I ever explained it to him. I think I just told him, it don't really hurt that bad, or something like that. Or I'm just, I'm used to it. I have so many tattoos or something like that, which also is part of it. I mean, you do kind of get used to it, but most people don't get used to it to the point where they fall asleep. So that's disassociating, the characteristic for Aquarius, that is. So if you want to know more about it, you can look up DID, dissociative. I think it's called dissociative disorder. That's the disorder. But I never heard people talk about it as far as the zodiac is concerned until I started talking to other Aquarius and talking about how I call it just leaving. I'm like, I can just leave. And they're like, oh my God, you could do that too? It's very common. And like I said, some other people who aren't Aquarius, who suffer different types of trauma, told me that they came up with the same thing. I think it's something that the mind just does in a lot of cases, but for some reason it seems like a lot of Aquarius figured that out. All right, we're going to read a comment from ZT. Hey, ZT. Thank you for your comment. And it says, I'm an Aquarius sun in Aqua 2, but that part is so true. I feel like the need to protect the younger ones in my family. Okay. Like no one better say anything to them. Aquarius are so protective. That's one thing I like about Aquarius. I really like that we're so protective. If an Aquarius got you, we got you. I remember that was my reputation amongst the students when I used to teach in high school. The students would always be like, Garnett got you. That's my last name. And they'd be like, she got you. And it was true. I definitely did. I would look out for the kids, and they knew that, and I love that about our relationship, that they knew if something happened to them, they could come to me. And they, throughout my whole career, no matter what school I was at, the kids knew if something happened to them, they could come to me, because we are extremely protective. Yasmin Gonzalez. Hi, Yasmin. Yasmin's comment says, laughing my ass off, just started talking to an Aquarius, but I'm an Aquarius moon. I knew exactly what he was doing. I passed his little test. You know something? When a person tests me, I don't try to pass their test. I don't even try. I don't even attempt it. I'm like, oh, okay. Because really, the test isn't for me. The test is for them. The test is for them to see who I am. So if I modify my behavior in any way, I don't feel like it's giving them an accurate representation of who I am. So if I pick up that somebody is testing me, I just respond the same exact way I would have normally responded. I don't think, like sometimes, like I remember being younger and I would think like, how would they want me to respond? But then I realized when I do that, that's not me. That's the person they want. That's not me. It's not authentic. So I'm going to give them whatever response I got for you. And if that's the one you was looking for, that's what's up. And if that wasn't it, then we're not meant to be. Because that's my natural reaction. So I don't even try. It's like, That test is for you, homeboy or homegirl. That's something that person is trying to figure out. They're trying to figure out what they're looking at, what they're dealing with. So if you modify that, if you play into that, if you do anything to it, I feel like you're changing the outcome. Just do whatever it was you normally would do. All right, guys, it's time for us to get going. So if you would like to have a reading, please email me and I will give you an appointment. If you would like to send me a tip, I have my PayPal underneath here. We call them love donations. If you would like to get in contact with me, all my information is underneath this video. And come back soon because I have a lot more to say. See you later.